It's now my pleasure to welcome to the stage Pulitzer Prize winning editorial cartoonist Joel Pett.
Political cartooning has a very long and rich history, and of course the Pulitzer Prize is like, I don't know, if you were a baseball player, I guess you'd grow up dreaming that you'd get the game-winning hit in the rain-delayed 10th inning of a 7-game series. But if you're a journalist, you dream of winning the Pulitzer Prize. And ever since I did, it's been occurring to me that if I'd have known I was going to be successful at something, I'd have tried something harder. I could have cured cancer, I just didn't know. So anyway, cartooning is its own little odd language to which I've contributed absolutely nothing, and it doesn't change over the eons. Like, people still cartoon using, millstones and anvils and stuff. And our whole challenge every day is just to have one idea. And people have various reactions to that. A lot of people say, oh, boy, I don't know how you do that every day. And then another large group of people says, now, is that considered a full-time job? You deliver that paper? How does that work? And yeah, that symbol will still mean idea 100 years from now, when we will never switch to the squiggly LED bulb as cartoon for idea. It just won't happen. Also a big fan of the speech balloon. I was told for today's event there would be no swearing, so I'll limit it to most everybody has something about them that is just the part of their caricature. You don't even really need to do much else. All right, now here's the thing about political cartoons. They're not supposed to be funny. In general, if you think they're funny, it means you agree with them, which is not to say there's not a lot of funny stuff in newspapers. There's funny stuff everywhere. Headlines are funny. Apparently, road rage is worse in Johannesburg than it is in, Harrodsburg. This is from USA Today, this headline: troops with PTSD straining resources. The nerve of them. We send them over into a war, make them do 4 or 5 tours of duty without a break, and they come back and strain our resources. And in case that's too heavy a story for you, USA Today has provided this dog in its Christmas outfit. This is a typo from the book page of the Lexington Herald Leader. Oops, Iowa Jima. This is really the old days of display advertising. We ran this typo. This is a product that I'll bet they now have in Colorado. And if you go there, bring me some. Sometimes the weather is funny. Apparently a high of 97 means hot, but a high of 98 means very hot. You got to learn something in meteorology school. This is only a couple of weeks ago, and I apologize if this is one of your family members, but we referred to this woman who's the Crime Stopper evildoer of the week. By the very last word, we called her a trafficking heroine. I mean, she can really traffic. This guy blew up his family in a meth lab about 10 years ago, and the only picture we could find of him, he was Now, political cartoons are not supposed to be funny. This one is from the Baltimore Sun 100 years or so ago after a lynching, obviously, and there's nothing about it that is supposed to amuse you in any way. It is stark. That sick feeling that you have right now is the feeling the artist intended for you to have. Now, even though most people write letters to editorial writers and to cartoonists telling us how stupid we are and how dumb we are and those sorts of things, there is one genre of cartoons that people love, and these are these testimonials to people who have just died. So when the golfer Arnold Palmer died a couple months ago, I like golf. And so I drew, this thing about golf in heaven with the enormous hole. And people just love that. Overnight, your mail completely changes from you worthless scumbag piece of whatever to, aren't you sweet? You are just so kind. I've always admired you. And then the next day, it goes right back. Now, the thing I want to close with is, in this country, if you do this for a living, the worst thing that happens is people write those letters and make phone calls and threaten to cancel their subscription. But that's as bad as it gets. Around the world, you may have noticed that cartoons still have the power to put some pretty ugly stuff in motion. Everybody heard about Charlie Hebdo, but it happens all the time. The reporting on it is just like it is with shootings. If it happens in a school or more than 4 or 5 people are killed, it's news. And if it's just one person at a time, it's nothing. Well, cartoonists around the world are beaten, jailed, imprisoned all the time. This guy was, he was actually a pro-government Syrian cartoonist for almost all of his career. And when the current regime went off the rails, he started criticizing them, for which his reward was he got dragged out into the countryside by some goons and had all his fingers broken and beaten within an inch of his life. So when people criticize me for criticizing the government and say, you're not American, if you don't like it here, you should leave, I always say, no, 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 no. This is a great country, and one of the reasons is we get to do stuff like this. So thank you very much.